Graphic designers were some of the pioneers of the early web, but as innovation in digital moves so quickly, much of the early iconic work is being lost to memory. I've come down to East London to check out an exhibition which is rectifying this loss of design.
So 64 Bits is an exhibition of the web's lost past. We've got 32 websites from the early web and we've got 32 pieces of artwork. I went to an exhibition in 2002 at the Barbican that was about the history of video games, and it showed the history of video games from Pong to Tomb Raider, and it showed you how far we'd come in a 30-year period. And at the time I'd been running a web design agency for 5 years, and I could see exactly the same thing had happened with websites, but if anything at a more accelerated pace. And I thought someone should do the same thing for websites. I think a lot of the entrepreneurs that have exploited the web and the internet have been recognised, but the creatives that help shape it and create the culture largely have gone kind of unknown. Susan Kerr, who was a designer at Mac and designed the first Mac interface, the first graphical user interface. I think the GUI actually, it opened up the computers to the world of design. All of a sudden they could see that the computer was a creative tool. And Susan Kerr designed all of these icons, and in a previous exhibition I actually used her paint can as my logo, and this came to Susan's attention when I asked her to provide me with some prints for the show, and she said she was quite surprised that I'd used her paint bucket, but then very generously designed me an icon for the exhibition. So the torch icon that we use as our logo was actually designed by Susan Kerr for free. So what a wonderful act of generosity that was. Well, the great thing about designing for the web in the early 90s is that there were no rules. In the mid-90s there were no rules, there was no best practice, nobody had done it before, so you were literally defining it for the first time. So as a result, a lot of the websites were a lot more experimental, there was a lot more exploration involved, and it felt more like a space you had to explore rather than just a way of getting to the product or the information as quickly as possible. I think usability and accessibility and best practice obviously all have their place, but I think we've lost a little bit of the fun and the discovery element that was so important in the early days.
What we're doing today is we're actually launching our Beans Means Heinz pop-up bar. So we're going to be selling modern twists of the classic staples. And also we're launching our limited edition Beans Means Heinz cans, as well as 50 collectible cans which have all been signed personally by Mo Strake, the advertising executive that came up with the line 50 years ago.